Good afternoon, I am Chef Haley and I work at the Ansborough Hy-Vee. And today I'm going to show you a very simple and healthy watermelon salsa recipe. And we're going to start out with a seedless watermelon. We're only actually going to use half of this watermelon for the recipe. So I'm going to show you how to cut a watermelon. We're going to cut the tops and the bottom off because what we're trying to do is create a flat surface before we go in and dice the watermelon. So I've cut the top and the bottom off. I'm going to cut it down the center because we're actually only going to use half of this watermelon. And you've got to use a pretty good sharp knife for this. The rind can get a little bit strong. So we're putting it on that flat surface, and what we're going to do very carefully is cut down the outside of the watermelon. Here. And we're going to dice this pretty small, just like you would in any other salsa. We're going to cut this in half. And then we're going to slice the watermelon from here. And we're going to lay it flat to dice it. And a half of a watermelon actually makes quite a bit. This recipe serves 6 to 8 people. So the next thing we're going to do, we've got our half of a watermelon here, and you can see that makes quite a bit. The next thing we're going to do is I've got some fresh cilantro and fresh mint. It's a really good combination with the fresh watermelon. So we're just going to rough chop this. So if you grow any fresh herbs in your garden, this would be a great thing to use it on. And you're just going to rough chop that. You don't want any real big pieces of cilantro or mint, but just a nice rough chop on that. That's about good. So we're going to add that in. And then we are going to add some, this is one whole cucumber that I've peeled and I've actually taken out, I cut it in half and then I took out the seeds. So this is seedless cucumber, one whole cucumber. We're going to do one whole jalapeno, and of course you could make that spicier or less spicy if you don't like a lot of spice. We're going to do a half of a small red onion. We are going to do a couple of fresh limes squeezed into here, and this gives it a nice tart flavor against that sweet watermelon. We're going to put about two limes. If they're not super juicy, you're going to want to use 3. You really want to get that lime flavor going in there. Looks about perfect. We're going to do half a cup of regular granulated sugar. And then we are going to do, of course, a little bit of kosher salt. And the kosher salt is going to bring out the flavor just like it would in any other dish. So then we're simply going to mix this beautiful salsa up. You definitely want to let this sit for probably a good hour to let the sugar and all the flavors develop. And here we have a beautiful finished watermelon salsa, as you can see here. So it makes quite a bit, like I said before. And you can serve this with, I've got the finished product over here, some regular tortilla chips, so you're going to get that kind of sweet and salty combination. Or you could serve them with something like this is a Stacy's cinnamon pita chip, which is nice, so that's a little bit of sweeter of a chip. So for this recipe and more wonderful recipes, you can find them at our Hy-Vee blog, our cedarvalleyblog.com, and we'll see you next time.